Hello and welcome to part 3 of our light comedy cue. Today we're going to mix and master this. I'm going to be opening up the hidden parts of this template, so we've got access to reverbs and stems. If you need to make a template for yourself, I've shown you how to do that on a video just over there. And don't forget, like and subscribe, always appreciated. First thing I'm going to do is organise these instruments that we've got set up from part 1 and 2 and put them into groups from top to bottom. So I'll have high strings, low strings, and so on. I'm also going to colour code them so it's easier to tell what's going on. And when I've sorted that out, I'll be right back. Okay, for the next bit, I'm going to need some headphones because we're going to go through each track, solo them, and see if any EQ needs applying. Now, because we've mainly used BBC SO, except for the shaker, I imagine there's probably not a lot that needs doing to the EQ curves, but I'm going to go through. It's a good thing to do so that you're listening for each individual sound and making sure it sounds the way you like it. For example, maybe the flutes need the top end boosting a little bit to give it a bit of extra power. I'll see you when I've done that. There we go. I've listened to all the EQs. I haven't really done very much. I've tamed some of the pizzicato, so the violin 1s and 2. I've taken some harsh frequencies out that were standing out quite a bit. With the flutes, I did actually end up raising the 2K frequency just to make it sound a little bit airier. That's it for EQ. Next, I need to label up these stems to whatever they are going to become. We need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 stems. So, not 10. Brilliant. Okay, see you when I've done that. There we go. Labeling done. I've gone with high string, low string, tuba, woods, harp I've put on its own, tuned percussion and untuned percussion. So we've labelled those for the reverbs and identical for the stems. Now we've got all these tracks that aren't being used because we've just been composing at the moment. What we now need to do is route all these instruments to the correct place. So we'll take all our high strings, we will change the output from the stereo output to the high string stem. You can see why it's important to do the labelling first now, otherwise that's really hard to spot. And we're also going to add sends for each of the instruments to the high string reverb. We're just going to move along, do that for each of the instrument groups, and then we'll be ready to come back and listen and add some reverb. Okay, there's all our routing done. Remember, the reason we've got all these different reverbs and stems is so that they are on separate tracks, because when we output this for the library at the end, we don't want, for example, the untuned percussion reverb coming through on the woodwind stem. That's why we've separated everything out. What I'm going to do now is check that nothing is playing. Great. That means that if I put input monitoring on the stems, we do get sound. All I'm going to do is now go through, and for each of the instruments I'm probably going to start with pizzicato strings and put some reverb to place them in a particular space that I think sounds nice. And I've put Air Studio's reverb on all the channels to start with, but I might tweak which settings we've got, but I would stick to the same reverb across all of them. I'm just going to go down from top to bottom, make sure they sound good with each other. Okay, see when I've added some reverb. And there you go, I've added all the reverb that I think sounds nice. You might notice one thing that I haven't done in this particular episode is any volume automation. That's because of the nature of the track, and the power comes from different instruments coming in and out and layering on top of each other. As you probably would hear, it's laid out as an orchestra. So what we're now going to do is create those stems. So we're going to come out of input monitoring mode, put them into record mode, hit the record button, and watch the magic happen. See you in a sec. And there we go, 7 juicy stems ready to go. All I need to do is set the cycle range around where the start and end of the music is. Then I'm going to put Logic Mastering Assistant on, see how much I agree with it, and play it for you as an outro. So that's the end of our light comedy track that we've been making. Don't forget, like and subscribe is always appreciated. I hope you found it fun. Follow along, have a go yourself, and I'll see you when we do something new next time. Bye for now.